like to know a little bit about yourself and how long have you been working in this field?
I've been at Skyline just about 30 years. District for just about 30 years. District for just about 30 years. We started, I have 2 master's degrees. One is in library science. I got that one in 1977. Then I got a master's in educational technology, and that I got in 1981, I believe. When I was getting my master's degree, I was at San Francisco State, and I was taking a class, one of the first classes they had there, in microcomputers in education. It was like right when microcomputers were coming out. It's hard for you guys to believe probably, but there's a time there weren't like microcomputers that people could use. So this is when they first were starting, and so I took a class on learning how to use computers in education, and I learned about something called interactive video, and that was where they were first starting to use computers to control video, and it was for setting up tutorials for teaching people how to do things online by showing a little bit of video, and then depending on how they answer the question, it would show different videos to either give them more information or move them to the next topic. There was a job at College of San Mateo. They were doing that kind of work, and I got hired part-time as something called instructional designer. An instructional designer means I wrote scripts for videos and designed the computer program that went with it to make the interactive video work. This was in the electronics department at College of San Mateo in 1981 or 82, and they were creating these programs to take to companies in Silicon Valley where they were training electronic assemblers who didn't have a lot of technical skills, but they were teaching electronics so that they could become electronic technicians, so they could move up. So that's where I started in the district. That job lasted for about 3 years, and then it was a big grant from the state of California, and the money ran out. So because I had a master's degree also in library science, after that job ended, I moved to Kenyatta College for 1 semester. I moved up here when there was a job opening at Skyline. So I've been here since about approximately 1984, almost 30 years. So almost 30 years. So almost 30 years.
So what do you like about working here in Skyline?
I love the diversity of the students. I love the philosophy of the college to try to help all kinds of students and try to find ways to teach all kinds of people in different ways. I like my job. I have a variety of different things I do. I teach part of the time. I'm a librarian at the reference desk part of the time. I design the library website part of the time. And then I actually also get some release time to work in the teachers union. I'm the editor of the teachers union district. So I like the variety.
So you prefer working with students instead of working independently?
I like both, but I like working with students the best of all. That's my favorite part of my work.
What is your role in Skyline College? What are some of the responsibilities that you have?
I'm a librarian, officially like an instructional librarian, so I do a lot of teaching. I don't know if any of you guys have been in the workshops that I do in here, but I do a lot of workshops on what's called information literacy, which is teaching students how to do research, how to evaluate sources and do search strategy, and basically how to do a research paper. My role is doing those workshops, also to help students at the reference desk and to manage the library website.
What would you say some of the challenges are about your job?
I'm always trying to figure out better ways to teach. That's one of the challenges because there's a wide range of students' abilities, and when I'm teaching research, some students I understand things different than other students, and so it's a challenge to try to figure out ways to teach best to all different kinds of learners, and we're always trying to find new ways and better ways to do that.
So how technology has changed your career, like your occupation?
Well, technology has been a big part of my job from the beginning, so as technology changed, I've had to change what I do. So I have to always kind of keep up with the latest technology. So like when I started, like I said, there wasn't no internet, didn't exist. Like I said, microcomputers were just starting when I started as a librarian. So in fact, when I was in library school, they didn't have microcomputers. You had to use mainframe big computers, and so as things changed, I first had to learn about microcomputers and CD-ROMs, which were the first kind of way to have big databases on computers. And then I had to learn about the internet before there even was the World Wide Web. Then I had to learn about the World Wide Web. And I had to learn about all the applications on the World Wide Web. So it's like always learning new things.
And what are some health concerns about this job?
So that's the biggest problem, sitting around too much. And so that's why I like to play basketball and get exercise when I'm not working. I go to the gym a few times a week too, so I don't like to have to be sitting around as much as I do, but that's part of the job. So heard about they have chairs and desks now where you can actually work out while you're at the computer. So I'm gonna look into that.
What education and trainings are required for this job?
So you have to get a BA in it can be in any subject really, and then you have to get a master's degree in library science, and that is about a 2-year program. Sometimes maybe you can do it in a year and a half, and they're the only program now in the Bay Area is at San Jose State, but you can also, there's a lot of online programs now that you can do it, and it's general enough that you really can get into that with pretty much any undergraduate degree if you're interested and you have show that you've done well enough in your undergraduate classes. So, and then usually you do an internship a little bit, so you can learn on the job a little bit. But then the problem is jobs in libraries are kind of getting tighter to some degree. They're expanding in some places, but in public libraries, but and in college libraries a little bit, but they're also cutting back a lot. So that might be an issue. Are any of you guys actually interested in being a librarian? Not really. That's okay.
It was just an occupation for us to look into because it's something that our hobbies and life and interests relate to. So it was interesting enough for us to want to interview you.
So you guys have any other questions for me?
No, I think that's it.
Is that it? Okay, cool.
Thank you.